Okay, guys, welcome back. Now we wanted to check managing our worksheets. But how do we manage our worksheets in Microsoft Excel, right? When we are working with spreadsheets. So basically, what are the worksheets, in fact, and then how do we manage them? So maybe let me just go back to Microsoft Excel, and then where we are going to be able to find out and see what basically is a worksheet, and then how do we manage them. Like works, where is what Excel? I want to choose Excel in here. What is my computer doing? But then let me just wait a little bit to see if maybe I have something like a delay, maybe in terms of the memory and speed. It seems like it is delaying, but then basically a worksheet, we say it's this a single screen, or maybe single page that you are going to be inserting, maybe, or that you are going to be doing one maybe like related data. You say it's a worksheet, maybe in Microsoft Excel, this is screen here, this one. When I'm working with this screen, I'm gonna call it a worksheet, this one. And then if I open another screen, then like in a website, if you have the home page, or maybe let me say the login page, that can be categorized as a worksheet of its own, or maybe it's as sheet one. And then if you open the home page from the, excuse me, from the login page, if you open the home page, then you have sheet number two, meaning that the login page has got is sheet one, and then when you go to the home page, then you are going to sheet number two. Let me check if everything is going okay in here. Okay, we are going to start on a new workbook again, so that we can be able to see how do worksheets go about doing their business, right? Okay, as we can see, sheets we in Microsoft Excel are identified by this. You just look down in here in this sheet bar here, this one. This is where we are going to be able to see what's okay. This is sheet, maybe let me say sheet one. Maybe if I click in here the plus sign, I'm going to get sheet two, and also if I click here, I'm going to get sheet three, depending on the complexity of my application or my program that I'm trying to create, or my database that I'm trying to create. Because some people will be using this Microsoft Excel to create their databases. So depending on your complexity of your databases, you are going to be adding your sheets in here, right? So we say we want to be able to manage our sheets in here. As you can see, okay, this is sheet 4, this is sheet 3, this is sheet 1, this is sheet 2, and sheet 1. Okay, maybe let me just name them here so that you can be able to see. Let me name this one as sheet 1, and then after naming this one as sheet 1, I'm gonna name this one as sheet 2, and then maybe let me just name this one as sheet 3, and then maybe let me just name this one as let me just say sheet 4, right? If you can see, when I go to sheet 4, I'm going to get sheet 4 in here, but when I'm going to sheet 3, I'm going to get sheet 3 here, and I'm going to get sheet 2, get sheet 2, and this is sheet 1. So this is how we work with our sheets, right? But then we need to be able to identify our sheets, just like by looking at in here. For example, if you have an maybe let me say invoice in your maybe you have a point of sale system, maybe you have an invoice, and then maybe you have what else can we have, maybe let me say it's a receipt, right? You need to be able to look down in here and see that this one is the invoice and this one is the receipt. So how am I going to do that? I'm just going to rename them in here. I'm just going to rename it like invoice. How do you write invoice? Like this, right? So I know that the first sheet is invoice, and then the second sheet I'm gonna just rename it maybe to like receipt. like this one, right? Maybe in here I'm just gonna say home, like page, right? Maybe in here I'm just gonna say maybe inventory, this is how we write inventory, right? So when you look into this, you are going to understand what's happening. When I go to this sheet, I'm gonna get into invoice, right? When I go to this sheet, I'm gonna get into receipt. When I go to this sheet, I'm gonna go to the home page, and then here I'm gonna go to the inventory. I think you understand now. That is what we basically do, or that is what we basically mean when we say managing our worksheets. So in here, I can type in like maybe any stuff that belongs to the invoice, like this. Invoice stuff, right? And then maybe in here we are gonna have maybe receipt stuff. What happens in the receipt? Receipt stuff. Or let me just use u in here. Here I'm gonna have receipt stuff, and then here maybe I'm just gonna have homepage stuff. Homepage stuff, right? And then maybe here I'm just gonna have inventory stuff. Inventory stuff, right? This one, right? So this is how we differentiate our worksheets. I think you understand now that I'm working in different sheets in here. I have sheet 1, sheet maybe 2, sheet 3, and sheet maybe 4, differentiating them with their functionalities or duties, right? Okay. I think I want to delete it. What's happening? Okay, yes, I've just deleted it. So now this is the invoice. Maybe in the invoice we wanted to make sure that we can be able to enter in data. Maybe let us confirm with our slides. We have demonstrated how to manage our worksheets now, right? So now we want to demonstrate how we enter in data into Microsoft Excel, or we want to talk about how do we enter data into Microsoft Excel, right? So let me just get back in here. We say we have 3 basic ways of inserting data, or of entering data into Microsoft Excel, right? 3 basic ways, and those ways you must take care, or maybe you must take note of them. The first way is called typing. How do you write typing? Like this one, right? This is the first way of entering data into Microsoft Excel, by typing. Just now I've just typed this. That means I've just entered data into this worksheet, right? And then the second way of entering data into Microsoft Excel is importing, like this one, importing. When I'm talking about importing, I'm basically talking about taking data, taking another file and then pasting it, or maybe inserting it into another file, like in this file. Maybe if I want to import something, I'm just going to go to, where do I go? It's is it file review? Something in here. Okay, here we go. We got export, meaning that we go to I think I forgot, it must be a review, because we need to find something like external data. Oh, it's data. Yes, it's data. So it says get data, right? So when we go to get data, we are going to say maybe from file, and then we choose from workbook, or from text, or from whatever. This is how we import data into Microsoft Excel, maybe from the database, which is Microsoft Access, or maybe Oracle Access, even for MySQL Access. We can import data in here. But then if I had a file in here, maybe from a workbook, an external workbook, I'm just going to click it in here, and then I'm going to get a different files that I have in my system. And then after getting those files, and then I'm gonna be able to say, like, maybe take them into this file, right? So like I'm changing this file into that file that I'm going to be importing, right? But then since my system here is taking too long, because I'm running a lot of processes in the background right now, so I think that is why it is taking too long. But then importing is just simple as that. You're just inserting data from another file into this file. You're taking another file and inputting it into this file. That is importing. The third way, but the problem is that now my file is not responding. So I think I will have problem, because I want to go to the next formula, or maybe next form of importing data, or of maybe inserting data into Microsoft Excel. But then we say the third way of inserting data into Microsoft Excel is called scraping. Scraping is basically most usually it is used with web files. If we have a website, maybe if this is a website, right, and then I want to, let me just cancel this one because I no longer want to import, right? So the third way you say it's scraping, like this one. So we say scraping is when we have a file, like it's a web file. If this was a web file, and then we want to take only these two words, this one and this one, from the web file, this one. We don't want to take the scraping, we only want to take these two, one, two. What we do when we talk about scraping, or when we say scraping, we create code, or we create some instructions and instruct our computer to go to that website, and it is going to look for this data, the typing and the importing, and it's going only to take these two words, not everything in the website, but it's going only to take what we need at that particular moment, right? That is called scraping. We just take what we need from that website, and then we leave everything there. We just take what we need. It is different from importing, because importing takes everything from that side. But then when we scrape, we just take what we need. Maybe let me say, if we need 5 words, we are going to take that 5 words. If we need maybe 10 words or some results, like these websites, or my soccer fixtures and a football website, and see those things. If you want to see what's the MR results, how did our teams, maybe let them say, how did our teams play, we're just going to get the fixtures and maybe the results, right, and leave everything in there, and just we're just interested in the fixtures and the results. That is scraping. But then if we were importing, we were going to take everything. But then because we are scraping, we just need the information that we need, and leave the site as it is. I think you understand what scraping is. Otherwise, let us check into, okay, now we need to get into basic calculations, which means formulas and these functions, formulas and functions, right? So this is when we are going to be able to create a, a small program, or create something that will make you understand what do we use this Excel for. Because basically now I think most of you are a little bit lost, would say, okay, what exactly can we do with, maybe with this Excel? As much as you now understand, would see, here we can create an invoice, maybe here we create a receipt, and then here maybe we can create a home page, and maybe inventory page in here. But then most of you maybe need something like some visual elements to see, okay, this is an invoice, or maybe this is a receipt, or maybe this is a home page, right? So this is what we are going to be doing in the next recording. Let me just cut this recording, and then in the next recording I'm going to demonstrate a short maybe point of sale system, so that you can be able to see what's okay. When we are creating a point of sale system, this is what we are looking for. We are taking this data, doing this data, and pointing, or maybe creating whatever we are creating, and then including MA calculations and MA functions, or those basic formulas. Otherwise, what I'm gonna do now, I'm just going to cut this one, and then after cutting it, and then I'm just gonna be able to, let me say, say goodbye